So I was having my lunch earlier today, and as I was finishing it, the Lord was just encouraging me with this word that I want to share with you guys. And I eat not very much throughout the week. I have a very basic meal, sometimes just brown rice and chicken, trying to eat healthy and very nutritiously. But then on the weekends, on one particular day, sometimes a day and a half, I'll have these sort of cheat days. And so I'll work out and I'll exercise and then I'll try to eat healthy. And then on one day, normally today, it's a Saturday, I'll have this more decent meal or maybe two meals. And so all week I was looking at, pictures, I was looking at Yelp, I was looking at Instagram, and I was like, oh man, what should I eat? And I was looking at meat, barbecue, I was looking at mac and cheese, and all of this good stuff. So I had so many options, and I was like, man, I can't wait to indulge on some meal on Saturday. And so as I was thinking about what I wanted, I opted to get this 3-meat combo plate where there was rib tips, there was a pork sausage link, and then turkey tips. And so I had that with barbecue sauce, I had mac and cheese, and I had some apple coleslaw. And so it was really good. And I know I'm making some of you guys your mouth water, but I was just having a blast eating this meal. But all week, I was just waiting for it. I was looking at my phone and I was just like, oh man, I was watching a couple of videos and just, those mukbangs or whatever it is. And, I'm not into it too much, but, as I was getting to this nutrition plan and this workout routine, I couldn't help but just kind of think about it, right? And then when I had the meal, I was just ecstatic. It was so delicious. It was so good. As I was eating it, I was just thinking to myself, man, this is the real deal. This is not like what the pictures were showing. This was not like what the videos were showing. And you can't have any other way but just to try it. You could tell somebody that it's good, and I read all about it and all the stuff, but you got to just try it, right? And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, man, what a representation of our spiritual life and our relationship with Jesus. Because so many of us, we don't really taste the goodness of who Christ is. We don't have this intimacy with Christ. We don't know who our Father is because we haven't tasted him. We haven't really seen what it is with our own mouth, with our own eyes and ears, right? What we do instead is we get so much of the substitute. We get this supplement. We get the pictures, and we get the video. We got all this other stuff. You got sermons, you got songs, you got all these things that talk about who God is, about Jesus, about all these different things, right? And I'm not saying those things are bad. It points you to God. It points you to Christ, just like how the pictures, just like how the Instagram photos, just like the Yelp reviews, they all pointed to the real thing. But many of us forget that we have to actually try and taste the real thing to be able to be full with it, to be able to really enjoy that. But so many of us, what we're doing instead is we're stopping short. We're looking at those pictures, we're looking at sermons, we're looking at worship songs, listening to this and that. We're looking at even YouTube and Instagram. We're looking at all these nice quotes and little snippets and things like that of the supplement stuff that points us to God and to Christ. But we don't actually have an intimacy. We don't actually have Christ just in us and wanting to just spend that time and to taste the goodness of who he is, right? And what's crazy is, as I was looking forward all week to this day, to the real thing, and looking at all this supplementary material leading up to it, the funny thing is, a lot of us, we reverse it. We're looking forward to Sunday, and we're looking forward not to God and to intimacy with Christ, but we're actually looking forward to a supplement. And imagine that, you're hungry and you're wanting to eat something delicious, and you're waiting all week only to wait till Saturday, Sunday, to have a picture, just to look at a video, right? And I finished it, but this, see if I could show you guys, but man, it was so good. I have a picture here, right? And imagine just going, I don't know if it's gonna focus, but imagine every weekend you're waiting, and then only to be given this and you're trying to eat it, but you can't eat this. This is a photo. This is a video, right? And again, nothing's wrong with this, except that if you make that your main course, if you make that what you want to desire, then you're not getting the real deal. And so many of us, sadly, we're so deceived because we think we're getting the real deal. We think we're having intimacy. We think we're enjoying and tasting the goodness of who Christ is, the presence of our Father, but we're getting cheap substitutes. We're getting things that we think we know, and we're saying, yeah, no, I tasted that. It was so delicious. It was so good. But really, all they did was they were just looking at a picture. They were looking at a video all day and thinking, yeah, I had a taste of it, right? And so for many of us, though we think we're in the presence of fellowship and you're talking to Christians, you're going out having a Bible study, you're going to church and you're singing some songs, you're listening to a bunch of people on YouTube or just on podcasts, you're listening to sermons left and right. We think we're getting the real deal, but we're far from having the real deal, having intimacy, having Christ. And sadly, many of us go years and years, and we're not tasting the real thing. And in fact, we're getting a cheap substitute. And we think we're full, we think we're so good. But if you examine inside, there's such an emptiness, there's such a void. And your taste buds, they haven't been touched in such a long time because many of us don't really understand what it means to have a real meal, to have a delicious rib tips and turkey and hot links and all this stuff. But we are deceived because we are running to other things. And I just wanted to encourage you guys and to allow you guys to really examine yourself and take a look at your spiritual walk in your life and saying, man, have I actually tasted what was good? Have I tasted who Christ is? Or am I getting these cheap substitutes? Because so many of us, we are being deceived. And if we examine, we're getting all these other things and we're talking to people, we're getting opinions, we're having Bible study, we're doing all these different things, but they're just activities. And we're not actually having intimacy with the Lord. And many of us, even if we think we are, we're just checking it off. We're saying, oh yeah, I had my 30 minutes in the morning, but you just had a religious activity. You didn't really spend time with the Lord. You didn't really taste the goodness and the fullness of who He is and experience Him. And for many of us, if you're confused about that and you're thinking, oh, I think I know what who Christ is. I think I know all this stuff. Can you, explain it to me some more? Even that, I can't really explain any more than for you to really come before the Lord and ask Him and say, Father, this brother and all these people, they say that there's a realness, there's an intimacy with you, Father, but how do I experience it? How do I know who you are? How do I get a taste of the real deal? And you have to pray that prayer. You have to come before Him and you have to have that desire, that urgency, that want to enjoy this meal, to have Him. Because the Bible says, Christ says that, when you're eating, when you're drinking, and especially as you're drinking, right, you're drinking not this substitute water. You're not having, this water, right? You're having the living water, and you will never go thirsty. Christ says you will never go thirsty if you have this living water, which is Christ. And so I want to encourage a lot of you guys, get serious, take a deep look at yourself and say, man, am I having some cheap substitutes? Because week in and week out, you can't just be looking at pictures. You can't be looking at videos. You can't be oozing and drooling over things just only to have such a distance, with Him. But you're that close, right? You're that close. So don't be that person. So I encourage you guys, be blessed, be encouraged, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.